Well, good morning, folks. Here we are at the Chipeta Lake Trailhead. Sorry, Chipeta Trailhead. Chipeta Lake is about a half mile that way, up in the high Uinta Mountains at the eastern end, not far above where I work in Roosevelt Vernal area, probably around 10,000 feet right here. And got rolled into camp last night, got set up. I had considered vlogging the whole trip up here and stuff, but got off work about 8:30, had a half hour of daylight, and just couldn't be bothered with the whole setup and all that. But I did manage to, and I didn't really know what it was going to happen when I got up here, what it was like, where I was going, and so forth. So, you know, I didn't worry too much about setting up the cameras and stuff, but I did decide to make a little fire, have a nice little dinner before bedtime, sometime around 11:30. Probably got into bed. Anyways, long story. I did manage to capture a couple cool night shots last night though with the camera, the wide angle, so that was awesome. So here we are. I've been meaning to do this video for some time. It's been 5-6 weeks. Sorry, let me tidy this up here a little bit. Somebody had conveniently left me a nice little pile of wood and a well-built fire pit. Didn't even have to do that. This campground actually has a restroom in it and trailhead maps and so forth. So anyways, it's been what, 6-8 weeks since we did that one trip where I first set up the tent, the rooftop tent Tepui. And so this, I just kind of wanted to do a follow-up to try to kind of finalize this tent review process and give you my thoughts on it. And while I was at it, I decided I was going to go ahead and set up the entire base camp operation, you could call it, here with the ARB awning. This is a 2500 2.5 meter ARB awning. It's freaking huge. It's awesome. And I'm actually going to go ahead and set up the awning tent that I have with it as well. So let me get that set up and then I'll show you around the whole rig. Now the ARB awning tent, you can see my other review of that. I've had it for 3 years or more now, and I've only used it a handful of times, but it is a super sturdy unit and pretty pleased with it. All right, take a pause real quick. Tell you something about this ARB awning tent. First off, ARB got a couple items of theirs on the truck and I've just put in an order with Cruiser Outfitters for the new bumper. Finally, after God, how many years? This poor thing's been needing a new bumper. Anyway, got some new bumpers coming. Kind of on the fence about whether or not to put in the ARB lockers and new gear setups. Man, they're expensive. It's about $4,000 to equip your truck with front and rear new gears and ARB lockers. But anyways, ARB, because of their customer service, they certainly have me as a customer for life, you could say that. But I wanted to mention to you the one little snafu that I've had with this tent is this right here. If you can see it. There is a tear in the material of the channel. It's about 4 inches long, and because when you slide this in there, these edges are not super smooth, and they could be a lot wider without a jagged edge to catch on there. And so setting it up by yourself in the summer and when it's warm, it's not really a big problem. It's not too big of a challenge. But when you're setting it up by yourself in the winter and the material is, you know, 20 degrees, everything is super stiff. It's pretty difficult. And that's what happened. Was somehow I was pulling it without it being all the way in, and it tore. So I got home and looked up the customer service email, and I was pretty freaking stoked when I sent in an email with the picture of that and asking them, hey, how should I get this fixed? What should I do? without hesitation, all he did was ask me what my address was, and within about a week they sent me an entirely new tent. So talk about excellent customer service. These tents aren't super expensive. They're under $300, and the awning itself is probably under $300, somewhere thereabouts. So I guess $600 for a tent setup isn't super cheap, but as compared to the rooftop tents, I mean, like, I don't see how they can afford to give away too many of those. But anyway, I don't understand the business. It's besides the point. So let me get this set up and I'll show it to you. So here we are. I want to take a look around, do a walk around, what you want to call it, to give a perspective of just how much real estate you can actually set up off of your truck here like this. I mean, dude, if you parked your truck and set up as a base camp to operate out of, just with these two devices, I guess you could call it three, I mean, you've got so much room. And here we are up in the Uintas where the morning is rolling on and the damn mosquitoes are coming out. Didn't have a single mosquito all night, and just as it's warming up around 9 o'clock this morning, out they come. So that's one of the kind of the big beauties of this awning room over here, is just that it primarily provides a huge bug net. Okay, one last thing I want to show you is, not one last thing, but actually one next thing is, I don't have them here with me, but I do have a couple cheap telescopic poles that you can hook into the grommet there and extend out here with some rope and have yourself even that much more awning space, really. Do your cooking and whatnot underneath here. So imagine it. You're gonna have to use your imagination. Okay, this video, I didn't want to go through the setup of it because, well, these videos, there's probably hundreds of them out there that have already been set up. And my first video that I did on this awning when I first bought it, well, it actually has quite a few dislikes on that video. I don't really know why. I mean, if you're going to dislike a video, that's fine. I'm not here to please everybody, and there's no way I could. But, you know, if there's something you dislike about the video, leave a comment, and maybe if it's worthwhile, I'll try to work on fixing it. But anyway, this was the new style of tent, and so I put one video together about it. I was kind of on the fly on a quick trip, and you can check that out. So I didn't want to go through the time and effort of videoing a full setup of it. There's also another excellent channel that is the Colorado Backcountry Adventures. That's what it used to be. Can't remember what he changed his name to now, but I'll link it over here. And that's who I was watching, and that's when I started subscribing to him, was when I was researching this van, or this van. I got vans on the mind. This here tent 3-4 years ago. But lastly, to recap on that initial review I did of it, I'm not sure if they have revamped this, but the major downfall with this is there's no zipper or Velcro or anything along the bottom right here. So once you zip this down, you got wind flapping in from right here. So that's kind of nonsense. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but what can you do? I'm just gonna fold this up real quick, kind of demo the screen capabilities of it. Now, if you guys want me to do a full setup on this and a full setup on the rooftop tent, maybe let me know and I'll consider doing that. But here you go. You got 4 plus the 1 screen panels. So I mean, you can set up in here, stay out of the bugs. You got a big nice, here's the model number. You got a big nice opening right here. You got access to your car. Super sweet. You got a little shelf right here to stick all your utensils and whatnot. And yeah, it's made real good quality. So people had commented on my post, that on my video before, that it's not very good in the water, not very waterproof. If you get some heavy rains coming down, and I could see why. I mean, you can see daylight through these zippers. So FYI, that's what that's all about. But it does have a pretty thick, sturdy tarp-like, it's kind of extra heavy duty tarp, really, material on the base, on the floor, and it comes all the way up the sides, 8 or 10 inches. So as long as you're not getting too doused, you should be good as far as water flowing in from the ground level. Now, yeah, this big panel right here, it unzips as well, so if you're not in a bug infested area, you can open that up and you got tons of openings. Whatever, this video isn't even really supposed to be about the ARB tent. But man, there you go, tons and tons of room, huh? Good night. Now let's go in and check out this rooftop tent. And real quick, so the thing is, it's like, why would I review a 7-year-old tent? Doesn't make much sense. There's thousands of reviews out there, video reviews. I'm not going to teach you anything about this tent that you've probably not already found, but you know, we got an adventure channel here, and maybe some of my viewers or followers, subscribers haven't seen this particular tent, so this video is for you. Okay, now this is Tepui tents, of course, made in Santa Cruz. They have recently, as within the last couple of years, been purchased by Thule, I believe. Probably Thule of Sweden. So that's the story of the American dream. Build a quality product, market it, and before you know it, one of the big dogs, besides your stuff's good enough, buys you up and you can retire to a freaking lodge up in the mountains. Pretty sweet. So now this tent, I don't know how old it is. I believe it's around 7 to 8 years. So it's 2020 now. So somewhere around 2013 is probably when the design was built. I don't know much about the Tepui tents to say whether that's a middle of the run age or what. But starting out here, you got your nice little outriggers. They kind of work okay. The rope's pretty sturdy. You know, this would work better if it was a 3-hole tightener device. Okay, you got your tent, your ladder, and it is definitely super sturdy. I'm quite surprised at it. I didn't think it would be as sturdy as it is. Some pretty good TIG welded bracketry and whatnot. You can get these ladders for shit. You can get them at Home Depot for different, you know, for work around the house and whatnot, contracting work. But pretty nice. The telescopic design of it is really cool. You get a little bit of shmoo on your hands if you're not careful, but it opens and closes super easy. And I really always thought that the ladder was what suspended most of the weight at this end, supported it, and I guess it does to a degree, but when you're climbing up in there, it's really well supported by the straps and the rest of the design inside. So of course you got your strap. You see the wear marks where from it's been being transported. When you open it up, if you're careful and you stuff the cover up in there, it'll kind of sandwich down nice and easy. All around really good material. I mean, this ripstop is super nice. It's lined on the inside with a sort of water repellent liner of some sort, and you also have the zipper all the way out here to zip on a vestibule, which if you added that, holy cow, more waterproof. You got maybe you could put a shower inside here with a little something to stand on, a little pallet or something. So even just the opening and the entrance is pretty freaking fantastic. Now all the straps are sewn in real well and really good. Pretty clever design with their little suspension bar here. When you're packing it down, you simply take it out of the pole out of here, the hoop, and then you just slide the hoop inside that space along the mattress. That collapses down, and then you can just stuff this extra vestibule part into the tent while you pack it up and roll it up. The ladder is quite sturdy, and from up here it's a pretty cool view. Now I think that they have some sort of a shelf you can attach type of thing, so when you get up here you can maybe put your shoes and stuff up here, keep your shoes off the ground, because climbing up this ladder barefoot's not super fun, and also keep your muddy shoes out of the tent. So whatever, that's pretty neat, pretty handy. Now, moving into the tent. The mesh that they've got, really good stuff, really heavy duty. I wouldn't be too concerned about popping holes in it. It's a lot sturdier than the no-seam mesh. Okay, got the opening set up there. Of course, it doesn't zip along the bottom, but it zips down to the sides. Okay, so as I was saying, lots of room up here. Lots of room for 2 adults. Shoot, man, you could do 2 adults and 2 small children easily. And I don't even know what size model this tent is, but somebody hopefully maybe can let me know. Tons of room head to toe. Room for your bags, room for whatever gear you want to bring up in here. There's nice room overhead. I mean, seated in here, you can see I got 1.5 feet above me, and so much room all the way around. There's just lots of room up here. So that's one thing you're not going to be wanting for, is more room. Now, the structure, the way it's designed with this web is pretty freaking cool. It's webbing, it's got the loops, goes all the way across, anchors down to the part that's fixed to the roof rack, and that's pretty much the design of how it uprights itself and supports itself. Pretty neat. Of course, you got all your flap hangers and whatnot in here, lots of pockets. I just didn't want to take the time to set up the flap hangers, you know, but they're there. It's really nice that you can open each screen mesh either way, so you can see out nicely. Of course, you got these little hardened steel spring bars. Now, the only thing that I would say that's questionably janky with this is that it's not necessarily a bad design, but it's just not very refined, and that would be how these posts, these bars, slide into the base. Maybe if that was, you know, had a nice grommet. I'm assuming that they probably refined that over the years, but that's the only thing that seems like just kind of thrown together, you know, last minute, not really planned out. But other than that, it's freaking sweet. Everything about it is just super freaking nice. You don't have to set up any of these. Last night I just slept with it without even putting those spring bars in, and you know, that extra little bit of flap hanging down covering your windows provides a little bit more wind protection. Probably it didn't get windy or rainy at all last night, so that was pretty nice. Wow. Same at this end with the zip down. There's a heavy bar inside here, not too heavy, but that's what kind of just seats down along here, keeps the wind from flapping up, but it does not zip off completely shut, and I don't really think it needs to, because it goes down 4 more inches below that. So not a whole lot more to tell you about it. Of course, these things are heavy duty Hypalon type of, like, rafting material type of durability. Loops and whatnot, really nice quality. The aluminum bars freaking sweet. All the seams are sweet. You got these little, you know, these little vents up here to let the moisture out. And yeah, it's about time to break this down and go do some fishing. So my final thoughts on the Tepui rooftop tent are that I certainly would recommend them. I'm very fortunate to have this one on loan to me from the friends that support me and help me make up my mind that when the time comes, I definitely will be buying one of these. It's just that right now, I'm kind of on the fence about whether or not to pick up an RV trailer, pull behind trailer RV. What I really have my sights set on is a Mercedes Winnebago Revel 4-wheel drive diesel adventure van. But man, with the price of those things, that's going to be kind of a few years down the road unless my YouTube channel takes off and I start making like $1,000 a month, then it wouldn't be a problem. Anyway, Tepui tents, really freaking nice. I don't really have any experience with any of the other brands out there, but these guys are pretty bomber. It's pretty freaking awesome. I would recommend it. I wouldn't hesitate buying one at all. The newer versions, of course, have kind of a top layer, additional roof layer that provides extra rain protection and weather protection up there, and sun protection, I'm sure. So they've refined them quite a bit. But even one of these old ones, if I could find one of these old ones for sale, or talk the crew into letting me buy this one, it'd be good to go. So that's it. That's a wrap for this one. Gonna make some coffee. Hey, you want to see how I make coffee? Okay, let's stick around.